Love it. Love it. Look at this. Uh-oh. I don't hear you, Billy. I see your mouth moving, but I don't hear you. So I'm just going to talk, and hopefully people can hear my voice because I'm just chilling, talking about the Packers. It's what we do here. And I got to say, pretty exciting stuff when the Green Bay Packers are sitting atop the NFC. Not just the NFC North, the entire NFC. It's good stuff, Billy. There you go. There's your sonorous
Let's go.
tone coming through the electronics of the world.
There's a lot worse things that we could be talking about, right? Like there's a lot worse ways and lots in life. And a lot of people in the NFL are doing so. Actually, Nags, 30 other teams that are not waking up right now atop their conference as the number 1 overall seed and having a first round bye if the playoffs started on October 21st.
Which, of course, they don't. Of course.
They don't.
No.
Of course.
Right.
But also, when we say that and how quickly we say, of course, it means that right now, if you're peaking on October 21st as a football team, you are peaking too soon, sir.
You're in
that
trouble.
Would be like the individual that peaks in high school. You don't want to do that. You want to get better. You want to go up levels. You want to continue to get better, and I think that's where this team can be going.
It's pretty clear, though. Anybody watching the Green Bay Packers this past Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals will tell you it doesn't look like a team that's peaking, right?
No.
Like, it's a team that had to dig deep and overcome some adversity and put another W on the board, which is what it's all about here in mid to late October, right? You don't hang banners for being atop the NFC on October 20, whatever it is. I understand that. I get that. But if there's no point in talking about the fact that the Packers have the best record in the NFC, then why do they keep track? Why are the records there? Why do we even have wins and losses? Just everybody be happy to go out to the game and enjoy some fun. They keep track for a reason, Billy. And right now, the Packers are the best in the NFC.
Yeah, it's like the standing or the rankings in college football, and a lot of people will say that they don't matter. Well, they kind of do when at the end of the year, that is who ends up making the playoffs is the 1 through 11. Now it'll be with the group of 5 team or whatever, and all those different logistics and landmarks. But like that's the part of it. You do at the end of the day judge the results off the wins and losses, and no, they are far from the perfect football team. And far from their best yet. And I think that's, to me, Nags, the most optimistic point that I've been at for a while, where you can see them finding ways to win games. It's difficult to win games in the NFL. I know everybody hits you over the head with that, Packers fans.
But it's true.
You got to celebrate, but it's true, especially when you're not clicking on all cylinders. When one of your better defensive players is still on the shelf in Devontae Wyatt. When one of your best defensive players in Xavier McKinney is not making the splash play that we all see jump off the table and made their defense so dangerous in the beginning of last year. They've done it in different ways. And you mentioned fight and scrap and claw. Nags, that's the first game that the Packers in 2025 have not had a 10-plus point lead.
Right.
That's a good lesson to learn as to how to come back and that you can do it, albeit against a team that's got 2 wins, I know. But they've also now played back-to-back weeks a 4-point game against the number 1 seeds in the NFC and AFC, respectively.
And that's my point. Like, I keep coming back to this idea where I'm sure Packers OT was filled with this because my post-game chat was filled with it at Cheesehead TV. Like, they don't look the part. They didn't look dominant against a team that, to your point, has 2 wins. Well, just rewind 1 week. The Colts are playing better ball than probably anybody in the league. And I know it feels weird to say that because historically that has not been the case. But the Colts are a really good team. And the Cardinals took them to the limit at home, at their place.
At home, yes.
So with Jacoby Brissett, this wasn't Kyler Murray, right? Like the Cardinals are a talented, tough out and have been for the past 5 games that they just happen to have lost, but they are a talented, tough team. And the Packers, they had to do everything in their power to come away with a W on Sunday. Yeah,
in their Arizona, that being better, I think, with Jacoby Brissett than they are with Kyler Murray.
I kind of agree.
However, Nags, before they went and played Indianapolis, they didn't know that, right? Like they had not seen it. That was the first time they played with him, and they put up 30 points or 27 points, and gave up 31. That's been the tale of their season.
Absolutely.
Arizona's lost tight games, but they've been in every single game.
Yeah. And now look, we don't want to be like, okay, well, everything's all right after that game.
No.
Because of course it's not, right? There's
Mhm.
plenty to work on, plenty to dig into, and we will. However, I do want to start on a positive note.
Oh, come
Because
on now.
obviously Micah Parsons is the headline coming out of that game, without question, right? 3 sacks, absolutely blowing them up front. No doubt about it, the headliner. Man, something that I don't think has gotten a ton of run coming off of that game and kind of coming off the last couple kind of weeks. Jordan Love just continuously delivering when it counts, when it matters, when you got to have it, when it's, okay, you don't make this play, the game's probably over. All he does is continuously come up in these clutch situations. Once again, it's 4th and 2. He's walking off to the sideline, apparently shoots his coach a look that says, what the hell are we doing? Gets back out there, throws. I mean, of course, this is the Packer way. Of course, you need 2 yards, so we're going to throw a 15-yard deep out route to our tight end. But, hey, man, kid delivered again, and that's all he's done this year. It's pretty impressive.
6 game-winning or game-tying drives in the fourth quarter for Jordan Love in his career. They flashed this stat up last week when they're in the midst of the one to take the lead. And I don't know that counts in. I think he did it 2 or 3 times against Dallas to tie the game after they went down. So, like, there's a lot of different points, Nags, where he has done exactly what you said. Led the team down when needed, and they have gotten the points necessary. Now, granted, was there some teach tape as to exactly what not to do in the final minute in Dallas? Sure. Again, better to learn those lessons in September and October. But I think just the proof is on the field that they are closer than further away. They're closer to figuring this thing out and being the far and away favorite in the division, I think, than sitting here in the middle of November saying, man, what happened to the first 2 weeks? What happened to that team that scored 27 points and ran up on the Lions and ran out the Commanders of the building? And granted, Washington doesn't look all that great with the injuries that they have after and since, but wins look different as the year goes on. You can play who's in front of you at the given point in time.
All you can do.
And this week in particular, they get a phenomenal matchup. But they just had one where Arizona, the characteristic of the team is they play close games. The Packers' characteristic is right now, they can be exceptional, but they have not consistently done it for 60 minutes. They got time to be able to learn it, but that's the next goal. Is to be this good through a full 60-minute game.
And that is the key, because I talked about this kind of all week leading into this game, and then again kind of all an hour or so afterwards. Man, there is no team that I look at watching the rest of the league and think, oh, the Packers can't beat this team. This team's too good. This team's too talented. There ain't a team out there, Billy, that the Packers can't arrive, whether it's at Lambeau or on the road, and beat. Like, I have zero doubt about that. But to your point, the issue right now is the Packers continuously beating themselves. The inconsistencies, especially when it comes to unforced errors, whether that's false starts, illegal procedure, illegal formation, all of the kind of mostly pre-snap stuff that puts them behind the sticks on offense, or lining up offsides on defense, giving the opposition a free play. Like, the league's too close together talent-wise to be giving away freebies like that. And the Packers have done it continuously way, way too much. And I know LaFleur addressed it yesterday in his presser. I have zero doubt that the coaching staff is somewhat, at this point, probably pulling their hair out, trying to think, how can we reach these guys? Because that is the one thing that is going to stop them. It is themselves, the Packers. Because if they play clean games, if they play up to their potential like you're talking about, bring them all on. There ain't nobody they can't beat.
Yeah, they're one of the only teams that has to play 2 opponents each week, themselves and the one in the other uniforms.
Wrong.
Nags, I don't know where you fall in on it. Again, I think it's a case-by-case basis, but like Malik Heath lining up offsides.
Oh,
brother, I don't know what else the coaches can do, right? Like, outside of walking out onto the field, using a timeout, and physically moving him. However, Jonathan Gannon just tried to, physically move a
dude,
player. Hey, you got fined $100,000. So I don't know if you can actually walk out on the field and say, brother, there is not there. Right foot there. left foot there. There's only so much you can do, right?
Yeah.
Like at some point when you are at this level, you got to be able to correct the correctable on your own.
And it's
I
like
get it. You're the coach.
Right.
The buck always stops with you. And why is he not have these guys ready to play? You lining up as the 5th string wide receiver, that's going to be on you, brother. Yep. We're going to need you to be able to do that. And now, again, jumping off sides, Micah Parsons. Hey, Micah,
buddy.
You're all good, bro.
Phenomenal game.
Yeah, we're going to figure it out. All right. Baron Sorrell, you sit right here.
Exactly.
I sit down and you figure this out. Because there's levels to this, right? Again, if Romeo Dobbs gets an illegal procedure where he's off the line, it's come on, home. Better than that, buddy. Dude. Let's go. Slap that guardian cap and let's get back in there. However, if it's Malik Heath, Malik, we got one more strike. We don't get 3 in this game. This is like beer league softball. It's 2 and out, and a foul ball, you're out as well. So you do have levels to this where at some point you get a lot of grace through the first 4 to 5 weeks, Nags, but it is week 7.
It is week 7 into 8.
Now we'll start making more decisions, and they'll be a little bit more curt and more frustrated because now we've harped on him for 2 weeks.
Well, especially if hopefully the hope for return happens this week of Christian Watson, and now that rotation at wide receiver might change a little bit, right?
Brings down a little bit.
Obviously, Dontavian Wicks went out of this game, so who knows what his availability is going to be like. We don't get our first injury report until tomorrow. But yeah, the Heath thing and the Sorrell thing, what's sad though is it kind of points out how it is the entire team, because it's not just rookies. It's guys who have been in the program for a while. It's superstars like Micah Parsons. Like, that is the thing that has really plagued this team. And I know people were frustrated watching that game on Sunday. Hell, I was beyond frustrated in that first half.
Those videos were amazing.
I just,
this defense every week.
Well, that was from a couple years ago. That was from the Buccaneers game where Baker Mayfield had a perfect passer rating and Joe Barry was definitely not the answer. So I finally blew my top. That was 3 years of frustration coming out. But Sunday, you're the final drive. I said to Corey, like, if we give up a touchdown here, and then we promptly gave up a touchdown, I was so mad. I was so upset and so frustrated. And because this is how upset I was. It blinded me because then they turned around and they ran a play, right? It was 7 seconds left, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there going, why are we running a play? What are we doing?
What are we doing?
All I could think, because I was so mad and so pissed off at this team, that all I could think about was the end of the first half against the Cowboys and how they tried to push it there, right? And Walker gets beat around the edge and there's a strip sack fumble and the Cowboys run one more play and get a touchdown. I'm thinking, why are we putting ourselves in this situation? But
don't subject myself to this.
But shout out LaFleur, shout out Love and the offense. They executed to perfection and got that opportunity to watch the substitute teacher put one through the uprights from 61 yards away. That's not inconsiderable. That is pretty impressive.
So that was my submission for turning point of the game, the Toyota turning point of the game on Packers OT.
Well done.
I was advocating for it. Now I think I lost. I believe I lost to the 4th down stop.
4th and 2 is hard. Oh, the 4th down stop. There you go.
The 4th down stop to put the Packers offense back onto the field. Again, a very, very good one. They have a chance to go up 2 scores. If they continue that drive and go score a touchdown, Packers get it back, chance to go win it. But that to me, Nags, was a turning point of, fellas, again, we do this a lot where you've now done messed up and set the standard a little too high.
100%.
If we can play that good of situational football, it's just one pass, right? It's one deep in to be able to find a spot and a cushion in the zone where you're going to be able to give yourself a shot. But that to me is the best situational football, the headiest football they have played throughout the 2025 season.
Right.
And that savviness is what it's going to take to win playoff games. And if indeed it's Lucas Haversick, done good, young man.
I mean,
if that's all we see from Lucas Haversick, submission into the Packers Hall of Fame if they win. I mean,
it is a franchise record.
If they win the Super Bowl, he has a franchise record 61-yard field goal. He might have to go into the Packers Hall of Fame. He also might have to be, we got to figure out, can we get some Swede in him? Can we find if he can be Turkish? Can he be our international pathway player?
Just have an
Because
exemption.
we just like to do it as kickers.
Yeah.
So can we just figure out a way for him to be the IPP?
Yeah, sure. I'm sure we could trace his roots and make that work.
Somebody
appeal,
23 and me, Lucas Haversack, and
appeal to the league and say, here's
oh, wait,
his,
never mind. Did they get canceled?
history.
23 and me get canceled? Oh, yeah, I think they were cloning people or something.
I think they were looking into the records or something, yeah.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay. Still up and up at this point. Figure it out. We need to make sure that we can save him as the IPP player.
I host that game on Drew and KB.
Oh, there you go. So we will be taking a break here. Carry the G Radio will roll on for another, hour and a half. We're still chilling. We're still up and at it. Carry the G Radio coming your way. Aaron Nagler, Bill Schmid, and a whole host of unsundry folks on the flip side. It's iHeart Friends.
She took me to a doctor, and he told me I'm a cure. He said that any love is good love. So I took what I could get. Yes, I took what I could get. And then she looked at me with her big brown eyes and said, you
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1969.
In May of 69, Neil Young releases his first album with Crazy Horse, Everyone Knows This Is Nowhere, featuring the songs Cinnamon Girl and Down by the River. The Who released the double concept album Tommy, which goes top 10 in the US and the UK.
even on my favorite table, he can't beat my best. His disciples needed him, and he just does the rest. Start crazy little fingers, never seen him fall. That kept on a blind kid, sure plays a mean pinball.
David Bowie's single Space Oddity, released to coincide with the Apollo 11 moon landing, reaches number 5 in the UK. Also in July, Bob Dylan has a top 10 hit with Lay Lady Lay in his new, deeper-sounding vocal style, which he attributes to quitting smoking.
Whatever colors you have in your mind, I show them to you, and you see them shine. Lay, lady, lay, lay across my big breast bed.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears have a number 2 hit with Spinning Wheel, popularizing the so-called brass rock movement that includes BST, Chicago, and Electric Flag.
Drop all your troubles by the riverside. Catch a painted pony on the spinning wheel ride.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1969. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1970.
Don't keep me waiting here. Lead me to
The Beatles released the Phil Spector-produced album Let It Be. It generates 3 number 1 hits, Get Back, Let It Be, and their final number 1, The Long and Winding Road. The Kinks song Lola, about a romantic encounter with a transvestite, makes number 2 UK and number 9 US. In July, the Stooges released their second album on Elektra Records, Fun House, and British band Mungo Jerry are number 1 in the UK, number 3 in the US with the single In the Summertime.
have a drink, have a try. Go out and see what you can find.
In August, Eric Clapton releases his first solo album and scores a top 20 hit with his cover of J.J. Cale's After Midnight. Neil Diamond scores his first number 1 with Cracklin' Rosie. September of 1970, Neil Young has a top 10 album with After the Gold Rush. War, an anti-war protest song by Edwin Starr, tops the charts.
What is it good for? You tell me. Say it.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1970. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
In November of 73, Billy Joel's second album yields a minor hit with Piano Man, which goes to number 25.
Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you got us feeling alright.
Ringo Starr continues his solo success with the number 2 album and 3 top 10 hits, including 2 number 1s, Photograph and You're 16. Meanwhile, John Lennon releases his 4th solo album, Mind Games, which goes to number 9 in the US. And in December, the single Taking Care of Business drives the second album by Canadian rock band Bachman Turner Overdrive to number 4. Emerson, Lake and Palmer released their 4th album, Brain Salad Surgery, which goes to number 11. And after passing away in a plane crash in September, Jim Croce has a posthumous number 1 with Time in a Bottle.
Looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1970.
In November, George Harrison's triple solo album goes to number 1 in the US and the UK. The album yields a number 1 single in My Sweet Lord. And TV sitcom The Partridge Family generates a number 1 hit with I Think I Love You with vocals by newly minted teen idol David Cassidy.
I don't know what I'm up against. I don't know what it's all about. I got so much to think about. Hey, I think I love you. So what am I so afraid of? I'm afraid that I'm not sure of. A love there is no cure for.
And Eric Clapton forms Derek and the Dominoes and releases an album including guest appearances by Dwayne Allman. The single Layla goes top 10 in the US and the UK.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1970. Coming up.
She looked out the window a long, long moment, then she looked into my eyes. She didn't have to say a thing. I knew what she was thinking.
Carry the G Radio coming back at you here on this Tuesday mornings. Now, Tuesday mornings going forward. Bill Schmid, Aaron Nagler. Carry the G Radio is brought to you by Luigi's Original Pizza. Feed the whole family with Luigi's. Thin, crispy crust, and flavors everyone can agree on. All your favorites are there. Pepperoni, deluxe, even the mighty meaty. What's better than sharing the pizza you grew up with at a birthday party, a football game, or a family get-together? I don't know. Can any other pizza do that? Luigi's can. Find Luigi's Original in your local grocery freezer aisle. Luigi's Pizza. Taste the tradition.
Nothing can beat that. Nothing beats hanging out, grabbing a couple of slices of pizza. Can't say za anymore. I learned that when I was coaching high school football. Apparently that means a different thing nowadays.
That's a very different thing.
Yeah, apparently a very different thing. Apparently that is the THC at these days.
I'll look it up on Urban Dictionary.
So yeah, apparently you gotta watch out the way that you say things. But Nags, hanging out with a Luigi's Pizza. Ooh,
come on now.
Best way
and
to
hell,
enjoy.
Even though we're in the mornings now, they have a breakfast option. There is a breakfast Luigi's Pizza. I'm gonna have to roll. I'm gonna have to roll with that.
Come on now. Now the breakfast pizza is one thing that's got to be done right because there's a lot of people that have tried.
Yeah.
And not succeeding quite like Luigi's. That's the other part of it. Because I do know that there's plenty of times in college where like, well, we got this pizza crust, and I don't know what else we should do with it. We got some tortillas. Should we just put some eggs on that, make a pizza?
Stuff on it. Yeah,
and there it is. There's pizza. That's not a breakfast pizza.
I think the folks at Luigi's are operating at a tad higher level, is what I'm suspecting.
Because they haven't been having za.
Yeah.
See?
Exactly. Precisely.
Tie that bad boy in.
It all works together. It's all in concert. It's kind of like Packers fans showing up in the desert. Man, did you see Brissett post game saying they had to run silent count for the whole game at home?
Chef's kiss.
Come on.
You knew it was going to be one of those environments. And sometimes, Nags, and maybe I don't know if you thought about this as well, because sometimes it has not always aided the Packers instantly and early in one of those games where it's a road game that turns into a home game because the Packers fans are all over the place. Yep. That doesn't always turn out as swimmingly as you would hope, right?
No, not. It's not automatic. Let's put it that way, right? There's no doubt. And I do think it's one of those things where I thought watching it live, because you see the guard, right, do the thing where he's pointing and he does the rhythm and he hand out, and then the center does the thing and he snaps it. And I thought, are they on silent count? And then he confirmed, yep, they were on silent count, which is, again, just a testament to Packers fans and their travels and showing up and taking places over. I'm very interested to see what happens Sunday night in Pittsburgh. You know, the Steelers fans, they travel, they take places over. There's no doubt that they are going to do everything in their power to keep Packers fans out. But I do think there will be a number of Packers fans in attendance in Pittsburgh. on Sunday.
Big time. This is going to be one of those games that if there's social capital that you have during
Right.
an NFL season,
Right.
this is a social capital kind of game. This
Yep.
is the
You cash it
I
in
was
there.
there when Rodgers played the Packers for the only time
Yep.
in his career. And I do
Yep.
believe it's the only time,
Yeah.
unless the two meet in the Super Bowl somehow.
Right.
He's
Which is
playing 1
possible.
year.
Not
Very
impossible.
possible. They're both playoff teams right now. They're both leading
Right.
their divisions.
Yep.
But this is going to be one of the tougher tickets to get.
Oh yeah.
Albeit though, Nags, I think it's fun to speculate because right now, like getting the door price on a couple of different institutions, like a couple $100, $250, $300. There's definitely going to be some Packer fans that find their way into Acrisure Stadium for a gotta have it game, but it doesn't have the same feel like this one does, or like the Favre games did.
Hold up. First of all, I was at the last Favre game at Lambeau when he threw the pick six to Desmond Bishop and a whole 9 yards.
The victorious one was a lot better than the one I was at.
But the one he almost pulled out with that crazy throw to Randy Moss in the back of the end zone, like insane game, right? But did you know off the top of your head the name of the Steelers Stadium, or did you just see it while you were looking up for tickets? Yeah.
Oh yeah, Acrisure Stadium.
You knew that off the top of your head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man,
just because
I'm just getting old.
Just because it's sad that the Heinz bottles aren't there anymore.
See, I don't even think of it as Heinz. I think of it as Three River Stadium.
Ooh, yeah, that's fair.
Because I'm an old man.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. You are kind of old on that one.
If you go and you see it, and it's on that spot where you can see the rivers, and it's just gorgeous, and it's such a great place to watch a game. I miss Three Rivers. It was Three River Stadium when I was growing up.
That is the one. That is another one of the meccas of football that I definitely want to get to. Like, there are certain places that do still have it circled, and Lambeau Field is one of them. That's why you and I get into the contention all the time. I'm like, this is a good thing that people make it a pilgrimage to get to Lambeau Field. That they desperately want to see a game there because it is still a crown jewel of football. When the Steelers are playing a home game and they fire up Renegade in that fourth quarter, it is one of the places that you circle as coolest spots that you're going to be able to watch pro football.
Yeah, it is special. And I mean, look, I loved LaFleur's take yesterday when asked about, and he got a little
chesty,
a little bristly, a little bristly there,
which isn't unfamiliar for the head coach.
No, it's not.
Especially when Bill Huber asks the question.
It's so true. It's
my man, Bill Huber, just gets
God bless you.
Really, Bill?
God bless you, Huber. Well, look, without Bill Huber, there would be no questions because Bill always kind of breaks the ice and asks the first question, which is great because then it gets us off and running. There's nothing worse than when you're in that room and all of a sudden, Matt shows up and everyone's been talking and having a good time. And then LaFleur walks up to the podium and all fun just kind of dies, right? And then you're just silent and he sits there. And that time from when he arrives at the podium to whenever the first question gets asked, usually by Bill Huber, but in that kind of brief, maybe 10, 12 seconds, you do question your life a little bit. Like, wait, why are we here? What am I doing? What's my question? Why? Like, it does become a bit kind of surreal. No doubt.
I kind of equate it to like when you're in class and the teacher would leave.
Right.
And everyone's kind of talking amongst themselves, laughing. Like, oh, this is pretty sweet. We don't have a teacher. And then all of a sudden they walk back in. Or, which happened to us every once in a while, the assistant principal walks in.
Oh, no, that's not good. That ain't great.
Then we're all looking like,
oh boy,
we definitely did it this time. She's crying. Yeah, we're in a tough spot here.
Crying. You made your assistant principal cry?
No, we made our teacher cry a few times, and then the assistant principal would come.
Got it.
Lunatic.
Reprimand you,
yeah,
right?
100%.
For making.
That's where it was. Because listen, as much as Jason Wallers will tell you, hey, what's up? I'll tell you guys, watch yourself a little bit. Yeah. When Matt walks in, it becomes a little bit more of the assistant principal walking in. Like, okay, I don't know if he's accused. He will yell at me if I ask the question.
All fun has died. No doubt about it. No question about it.
When Rob has to look like, as he said, the hole on Sunday when they said Micah was going to come to the podium, that he was going to do in the locker room. That was phenomenal.
And Rob just like bolted.
He's like, all right, well, now I feel like a real jerk. Yeah, all right, Rob, go ahead. Get out of here. See ya.
But, like Matt said, like he had a career day. Of course you want to talk to Micah. I get it.
You have to. 3 stacks? Come on now.
Totally understandable. But to the point, LaFleur being asked about this game and Aaron Rodgers, we're not playing Aaron Rodgers. We're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. And, of course, he's got history here, but none of that means anything. And you know what? He's absolutely 1 billion% correct when it comes to the football team's approach, right? Mm-hmm. Like they're breaking down film. Oh, look, there's a quarterback making throws and making plays and has tendencies and doing things that he likes or doesn't like, etc. That's inside the building. And that's their viewpoint, and that's exactly as it should be. But I'll tell you what, outside the building, I'm in. I love it. I love the drama, the narrative, the fact that people, man, there was somebody online, I can't remember who it was, but someone was like, Packers fans, Packers going to Pittsburgh on Sunday. Are you going to be rooting for Aaron Rodgers even a little bit? I'm like, how high were you when you typed that out? Like, what Packers fan, actual Packers fan, is rooting for Aaron Rodgers on Sunday? Like, that blew my mind.
You were there in 2007, 2008. You saw how many were cheering for Minnesota. There were a number of them.
Yeah.
Now, that was the different part of it is
a very different circumstance.
the very
right?
different personal relationship that many
Very
people
different.
had with Brett and never were going to allow themselves to have with Aaron. Right now, some of that was also Aaron because he distanced himself quite a bit, and he was
Sometimes.
good at making it known that he wanted to be different than Brett.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I think that's a fair thing, right? Like, I want to be my own guy. I want to be my own person. He's going to do his press conference at the podium on Wednesdays. I'm going to do it in the locker room. Like, so there was always going to be that separation of I'm going to be me. He was going to be him.
I'm actually going to mentor my successor as opposed to treat him like a pariah. Yeah.
Well, that's a nice way of putting it. And there's a lot of different things that let's just call it what it is. The prickly things that Brett did that in 2021, in 2022, I think would have turned a lot of Packers fans against him.
Yeah. You're not
rallied the troops almost in support of him.
Yep.
Like, wait, Brett shouldn't have to come to training camp. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Brett has to come to OTAs, but he's in Mississippi.
Yeah.
Why,
He's chilling. He's on the
he's hanging
farm.
out, he's cutting grass. What do you want him to do? Throw to Javon Walker and Robert Ferguson? He'll be fine. He's Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers doesn't like this son of a. Are you kidding me? What? You're gonna sit in a cave and not play football? So like, there's a different being there. And that's to the point where you're exactly right. Hardcore cheeseheads live and die. There's not going to be a whole lot of them. Now, there's some like me who grew up with Aaron authoring a lot of our best moments of fandom,
yes,
the biggest moments of my Packers fandom. And I'm pulling for him 16 out of the 17 games. I want them to go to the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a phenomenal one.
Agreed.
But I definitely don't want him to add to the list of players that have beaten all 32 teams.
Yes, correct.
In the NFL.
100 billion%. And look, he's going to have to play a patient game against the Packers. The way the Packers play defense, and I think he's capable of that. We've certainly seen it throughout his time in Pittsburgh already. But there's one play from that game against the Bengals that I keep coming back to where he heaves up a, bomb up the left sideline for DK Metcalf that ends up getting intercepted. That's the kind of play that I suspect he's going to be tempted to try to make against the Packers, putting on a show, showing up his old team, pick a narrative. But if he gives them one or gives them opportunities, McKinney and company will have something for him. But if he plays a patient game and is willing to paper cut or try to paper cut the Packers to death, I think he can cook. And I think it's going to be a very long day at the office for the Packers defense.
Yeah. And Nags, he has shown that he's playing very well, right?
Yeah.
Like he's not playing MVP level football.
Yeah.
But he's playing damn good football. And for a team that when he was brought in, the last thing they thought was, we're going to play a lot of games that are going to be decided 33-31.
Right.
That was not a part of the mathematics.
Not part of the gig. Right.
They've played 2 games that have been decided in the 30s, and they're 1-1 in it. And a part of it is because of what he's done. Now, you mentioned the throw there that definitely changed the game. He does need to play within themselves, but the Packers need to be able to capitalize because this Steelers defense, not your father's Steelers defense, wide open and gashable.
All I could think of. Now, there's two, like you are tempted to do everything because they can be run on. I mean, the Bengals ran on them, and the Bengals haven't been able to run at all on anybody.
On a track.
And then that secondary is gettable. So now you're getting Christian Watson back. You got Jordan Love heating up. Like, there's so much temptation there. But I suspect we're going to continue to see running the ball, trying to keep ahead of the sticks. Some would call it a conservative approach from Matt LaFleur. I think it's just smart ball.
Yeah.
But, there are going to be opportunities against the Steelers defense without question.
Okay. Where does this conservative thing come from? Are we just throwing
they're
that
not
around
throwing it,
because
Billy.
they don't throw
If
it
you're not
58
throwing
times a
it
game?
48 times, you are being conservative, apparently. By the way, Baker Mayfield threw it 48 times last night, and they lost by multiple scores.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I guess maybe I'm just in the, and I'm not trying to Jeff Halfley the situation where it's show me prevent defense. There was no prevent defense.
No.
There was no prevent defense. What are you trying to prevent?
Okay, but don't be lazy as a questioner. If you're in that room, like, you got to at least educate yourself. Like, I understand Halfley getting kind of brisk at that question because there was no prevent defense. At least know the terms of what you're using in that room.
Well, and that's where also when the conservative thing comes up of all they do is throw these checkdowns. Well, that's the
they should have thrown more
read.
Checkdowns in that Arizona game. I tell you,
correct, because what would be conservative is not calling a deep shot and be the number one option on damn near every pass play. Right? Like, I mean, that's not conservative football. So I do struggle with that part of the statement where I get it. Okay, they ran it on third down. How dare they? Now, if they would have gotten it, sweet. That's powerful.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I hear you, but there's a correlation here, Billy. They ran it on third down more times in this past game than they have throughout the season, and it was by far, and not even close, their worst offensive output on third down all season long.
Sure.
On third down. Like, put the ball in the hands of Jordan Love on third down. Like, I get it every once in a while. Switch it up. Maybe a draw play. Something.
But wasn't Josh Jacobs their best offensive player?
Pitch to the short side on 3rd and 2, Billy. Even Matt said that was a crappy play call.
Sure. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Okay, so you got one, but you're not. So you're going to run the.
I got one. I got two. I got the spinner action to Emmanuel Wilson into the loving arms of Calais Campbell. Out of a timeout, Billy. Out of a timeout.
Go look at it again. If you hit one block, there are 3 Packers players and 1 Cardinal. Again, amazing. Execution matters here.
Yeah.
So
you can execute much better and much more efficiently with Jordan Love pulling the trigger.
Okay. I guess I mean,
you were on a historic pace prior to this game, throwing the football and converting on third downs. I mean, I don't know. I'm just using, the historical data presented to me here within the 2025 season.
Got it. Okay. I know. Okay, there was bad enough that they scored 27 points.
You're just a coach. I get it. I understand. They got to execute. I understand.
I love it. If we go back and look at it, but no, the result was terrible. So we need to figure this out and hold them accountable. This is brutal.
That's not figuring it out. I already figured it out. I already told you. Just let Jordan Love cook on third down. That's it.
That'll work.
I mean, he's doing it on 3rd and 4th down now. So, just let Jordan cook. This feels like an easy fix.
I'm gonna make sure I replay this one when you run out with the run the bleeping ball shirt.
Hey, I'm all about running the football to stay ahead of the sticks so you can get in 3rd and short and let Jordan cook.
Yeah, we want it.
This is a winning formula. It is shown to be a winning formula. Stick with it. That's all I'm asking.
When it works.
It has worked at a historical pace. This is my point. I love it when we embrace debate. It's so fun. It's so good. I hear music. That means, we got to hear about stuff from the world of music that happened decades ago. It's always very exciting to learn about Billy Joel and Elton John. Can't wait to learn more. We'll talk more about the Green Bay Packers, the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, all of it coming up here on the other side of the break on Carry the G Radio.
That's about the time that she broke up with me. No one should take themselves so seriously. With many years ahead to fall in line. Why would you start on
It's Fox Wheels.
Ford Motor Company's new affordable electric pickup truck, essentially an electric Maverick that consumers have been calling for, that the company says will cost $30,000. The EV truck, part of a new wave of announcements from Ford, that's also introducing a new universal platform that'll support the EV truck and a fleet of new spin-offs. It's part of Ford's $5 billion investments in its pursuit of selling more affordable and better EVs. Its new EV pickup will be assembled at the company's plant in Louisville. where it announced it's scrapping production of its gas-powered Ford Escape and Lincoln Corsair SUVs. Ford also changing how vehicles will be made, assembling future models in 3 parts, the front, the rear, and then the structural battery, using fewer parts, working stations, and faster assembly. Its new affordable EV pickup set for 2027 launch. That's Fox Wheels. I'm Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1970.
Chicago breaks through with their second album, generating 3 top 10 singles: Color My World, 25 or 624, and Make Me Smile. And Simon & Garfunkel released the album Bridge Over Troubled Water. It would win the Grammy for Album of the Year. The single of the same name would also hit number 1.
Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down.
In February of 1970, Paul McCartney files a petition with the court to dissolve the Beatles partnership. James Taylor leaves Apple Records and releases the album Sweet Baby James on Warner Brothers. He has a number 3 single with Fire and Rain and receives major publicity as a leader in the wave of new, more mellow singer-songwriters of the time.
Let it roll all night long.
The Doors get back to the blues with the album Morrison Hotel, which climbs to number 4 on the album charts. In March, Crosby, Stills, and Nash add Neil Young to their lineup and have a number 1 album with Deja Vu, which includes 3 top 40 singles. And New York hard rockers Mountain released their debut Climbing with the single Mississippi Queen.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1970. Coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Aretha Franklin songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. Number 2, Freeway of Love. Number 1, Respect. Hear more from Aretha Franklin and similar artists now. Search for Aretha Franklin on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1969.
Keep on burning. Proud mirror, keep on burning. Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river.
In January of 69, Creedence Clearwater Revival has a number 2 hit with Proud Mary. The Beatles perform live for the last time on the rooftop of Apple Records in London. And after touring as the New Yardbirds in September of 68, Jimmy Page renames the band Led Zeppelin and releases their debut, which goes top 10 in both the US and UK.
Oh, good times, bad times, you know I've had my share. When my woman left home for a blind man, but I still don't seem to care.
In February of 69, Detroit rockers MC5 released their debut album Kick Out the Jams on Elektra Records. Tommy James and the Shondells have a number 1 hit with the psychedelic-influenced Crimson and Clover. And San Francisco's Sly and the Family Stone go to number 1 with the single Everyday People.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1969. Coming up.
If you really want to support our troops, just contact the USO.
You can't believe how much they do for us.
To find out how you can help, visit us at USO.org. The USO, until everyone comes home.
Carry the G Radio wrapping up hour 1. Wrapping up hour 1? What? That's right. We're rolling. It's Tuesday mornings going forward, so make sure you're adjusting your schedule so you clear it, and you can listen to Billy and I argue about play calling versus execution each and every week.
That's the way you
the
want to
G
wake
Radio.
up. That's the way to wake up on a club going up Tuesday. It's the right way to go. And also waking up early.
Truly.
Something that nags as I start to get older. I'm starting to appreciate it a little bit more. I've now just found myself going out and watching the sunrise during commercial breaks.
Look at you.
Feeling very old. 31 going on 52.
Sir, I am 52. So just
was that intentional? My bad.
dial it back there a little bit, buddy. Dial it back. Care of the G Radio is brought to you by Theta Care, a proud sponsor of Care of the G Radio. Before any big game, make sure your health is in championship form. With more than 115 years of trusted care and a team of experts in over 60 specialties, Theta Care keeps athletes and fans alike game day ready because winning starts with wellness. That's a bit there, that last line. Winning starts with wellness. The Packers got to get well. That is correct.
Yes,
I mean, they got a lot of guys banged up, and it didn't sound like we're going to have Devontae Wyatt or Lucas Van Ness yet again on Sunday against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is unfortunate. It is not great, but hopefully one more week and we get those guys back because gosh knows they need them.
Yeah, and the Wyatt one to me seems a little bit, and again, I don't want to rank and file and make it one more important than the other, but that one seems to me to be a little bit more dire because of how much he does on the interior and how much more accessible quarterbacks are to Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary when they're getting flushed out and can't step up in the middle of that pocket.
Although I will say, I mean, shout out to both Colby Wooden and Carl Brooks, who I thought both played extremely well down in Arizona. Now, there were absolute, moments they're taking advantage of, flushed out, washed out in the run game. I get it. They're certainly not a perfect game, but Brooks in particular really caused some problems for the interior of the Arizona offensive line, and he's going to have to keep that up, try and make Aaron Rodgers uncomfortable on Sunday night because the adage, man, it ain't no mystery. You got to play coverage against a superstar MVP level quarterback and a future Hall of Famer who's seen everything, knows everything. You try and come after him with a blitz. You try and put pressure like exotics, some kind of manufactured pressure. You're asking for trouble.
Yeah, that ain't
so that front four, that front in particular, is going to have to win.
And you mentioned the coverage unit. We've gotten a couple of messages on the NicolayLaw.com talking
text. We have
779-419-73. Curtin Grafton Negs. What do you think of Nate Hobbs? He couldn't even cover my grandma with all the money that they're paying him. I would bench him. I know probably not. I know they probably won't, but he's one of the worst corners in the league. That's
all right. Okay, let's slow down. Now, I understand it's frustrating when you see him give up that go route to Marvin Harrison Jr. in a big spot, right? Or the dig route or the deep in route, which probably should have had some safety help there. But I get it. You've seen him get beat. No question about it. I do think, to your point, they're not going to bench him. They're going to continue to roll him out there. And Matt himself said, when asked about it yesterday, he expects better. And he expects him to get better. And I appreciate that. However, I do think Matt LaFleur's history is littered with his faith in people and their ability to get better and produce and develop that has not often been rewarded, whether it's, Joe Barry's going to figure it out, whether it's Amari Rodgers is going to figure it out. Time and time again, he has had faith in people, at least demonstrated faith in people, but they haven't really rewarded that faith. So I hope that Nate Hobbs is a exception to the rule. I do think it's, Billy, you were out there this summer. Before he got hurt, he was everywhere on defense.
Yeah, he was all over.
And he was, I would say, just brought an attitude and brought a physicality and certainly looked the part. The moment he got hurt and then missed as much time as he did, and now they have inserted him and it has not gone well. I understand all that, but I got to think the hope here is that the more banked reps he gets in this defense, the more time on task, on the grass, whatever you want to call it, he will round into that form that we saw at the start of the summer.
Yeah, in Nags, when you have that much money committed, and the texter said it right there, listen, there's only one thing that you can do at this particular point in time.
Right.
Work to have him figure it out, right? Because you have that kind of financials committed to him. You're pot committed, and it needs to get better. You, as much as Carrington Valentine has earned himself opportunities to play in the National Football League, he doesn't have $48 million tied to his name, right? So like there's going to be, there's levels to this stuff, as the kids like to say. And he's got to be out there, and you got to get more. You absolutely do. You need more from him than what you got in Dallas against Tolbert and Turpin and a little bit of Pickens, right?
Yeah.
And it's the matchups are only going to get tougher. You are going to face Williams and St. Brown, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison.
Oh, DK Metcalf coming up
This upcoming week, no doubt about it. And obviously those guys in Chicago of Adunze and Moore, and they're playing well. So like there's a lot of big time wide receiving duos, not to mention the reigning defending Super Bowl champions that are here in a couple of weeks. So you're going to need a lot more there. And I'm right there with the coach and with the text. Like, you can't have what we've seen from Hobbs be what you continue to get. But I don't think he's going anywhere. He's going to have to work through it. And you're going to need a little bit more from around to maybe help him out. And Xavier McKinney, we had a phenomenal year a year ago, and the interceptions obviously are the easiest way to see it. But some splash plays do impact. And Evan Williams, I think he's a fine player. I don't think he had his best game.
His worst game of the year. Worst game of the year on Sunday. And he's had a good season, like a really good season. But Sunday was rough. No question about it. The thing with Hobbs, too, is, they paid him what they paid him. The contract's always going to be a conversation. But it's like, okay, he has been phenomenal in the slot in the past. But he's being asked to play outside. And I know that was their, quote, vision, right? And they did talk about, we're going to move him back and forth, right? I do think it's about time maybe he gets more looks in the slot, closer to the line of scrimmage, use that physicality that we've seen, I don't doubt for a moment he's going to get opportunities. I wouldn't hate it if he got some run in the slot, offering up like his physicality against the run. He's shown he's willing. He's a willing tackler, right? He is a physical dude. I would like to see him be able to utilize some of that a little bit more, because playing on the perimeter has not been kind to Nate Hobbs.
No, it really hasn't. That is not. And I, like you mentioned, the deep in, that's the one that I think a lot of people remember here. It's also like the exact same route I feel like he got beat on in Dallas for a big third down. So like it starts to bank up, and people are going to start seeing, all right, 21's out there. We are going to pick on
That's
them.
Where they're going. That's happening.
Until you do try to change it up. And like you mentioned, throw some variables out there. Line him up in the slot. Find a couple of different ways to get him onto the field, because he's going to have to be a part of the 53. And more importantly, he's going to have to be a part of the 11 on defense with that paycheck.
He's going to play. There's no question about it. We're going to play here at Carry the G Radio every Tuesday morning. We got more coming at you. More coming at you after this break. Billy, Packers by how many on Sunday night? That's my question.
Ooh. Well, listen, I have not been good at predicting the blowout victories.
No,
so I'll take 2 and feel okay with it.
There you go. There you go. I love it. Well, that's Bill. This is Aaron. This is Carry the G Radio, coming at you every Tuesday. We'll be back right after this.
Fly through my head like to fear, and I know I
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In June of 78, Darkness on the Edge of Town is released, Bruce Springsteen's follow-up to his breakthrough album, Born to Run. The album charts at number 5.
In the darkness on the edge of town. In the darkness on the edge of town.
Boston-based band The Cars released their debut album. It goes to number 18. It features the singles Just What I Needed and My Best Friend's Girl.
She's my best friend's girl. But she used to be mine.
In July of 78, the Rolling Stones released Some Girls in the U.S. The album and the single Miss You both hit number 1. In August of 78, Boston released their sophomore album, Don't Look Back. The album goes to number 1 in the U.S., selling 4 million copies in its first month.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978. Coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Elton John songs that you thumbed up. Number 3, Tiny Dancer.
All the clothes are tiny dancer. Count the headlights on the highway. Baby darling, she's so blended.
Number 2, Rocket Man.
I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh, no, no, no. I'm a rocket man, burning out the fuse out of every home.
Number 1, Benny and the Jets.
She gotta let me boots. I'm gonna have food. You know I'm better than a magazine. No. Benny and the Jets.
Hear more from Elton John and similar artists now. Search for Elton John on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
Sing with me after just for today. Maybe tomorrow the good Lord will take you away.
Boston band Aerosmith released their debut album at Ferris Borley. It would be re-released in '76 and yield a top 10 hit, Dream On.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, right on that.
Elvis Presley's live TV special, Aloha from Hawaii, is watched by more than 1 billion people worldwide and introduces the world to the rhinestone white jumpsuit. In February of '73, Alice Cooper has a #1 album with Billion Dollar Babies, along with 3 top 40 singles. Elton John also has a #1 album and his first #1 single with Crocodile Rock. Paul McCartney and Wings have a #1 single with My Love, and the Stooges signed to Columbia Records and released their final album, Raw Power, produced by David Bowie. In March, Pink Floyd releases the now legendary Dark Side of the Moon. It goes to #1 and becomes one of the best-selling albums of all time.
And everything under the sun is you, but the sun is a great spot.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1974.
In April, Diamond Dogs is a #1 album in the UK for David Bowie. It goes to #5 in the US.
Rebel, rebel, you torn your dress. Rebel, rebel, your face is a mess. Rebel, rebel, how could they know? Hot tramp, I love you so.
In June of 1974, Chicago funk band Rufus, featuring lead singer Shaka Khan, score a #3 hit with Tell Me Something Good. UK supergroup Bad Company have a #1 album and a top 5 single, Can't Get Enough.
Can't get enough, enough of your love. I can't get enough, enough of your love. I can't get enough of your love. Yeah, this one, this one. Whoa.
And Dutch hard rock band Golden Earring have a #13 hit with the single Radar Love.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1974. Coming up.
Broadcasting from the all-new Iron Jock Studios, built by Reamer Remodel.
Ready to roll, baby!
This is WRNW-FM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game. This is Carry the G, a show about everything Packers.
Let's go!
Green Bay Packers, woo!
And other stuff we love.
Oh, we just like to have some beers and a little tailgating.
Now please welcome the man who carries the G 24/7 from Cheesehead TV, Aaron Nagler.
Carry the G Radio Hour 2 rolls on. Aaron Nagler coming to you live from New York City. Bill Schmidt there in the greater Milwaukee area. Shout out to James Alexander joining the Carry the G Club on YouTube via Cheesehead TV. Appreciate you, James. Appreciate the support. Billy, I mean, here we are. We're at a time when the Packers sit atop the NFC and no Packers fan is happy. Like, I don't remember when things got so miserable around the green and gold, because it is a really good time to be a Packers fan, but you would never know it looking online. It's crazy.
No, instead, looking online, I just read the caption for a friend of ours podcast. It said, "Should Matt LaFleur be fired?"
Oh God. Oh, this I can't.
I mean, like, it's pretty impressive when you're 4-1-1. You have you have a top 5 offense in expected yards per play, or yards per attempt, EPA as the kids call it these days. You're top 10 in scoring. You've only lost one game, and it was
the best record in the conference.
Wild collapse game. Yeah, I do struggle that's the conversation that we have, but here we are.
We don't have that conversation because we know ball, Billy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we don't. Yeah,
if you know ball,
want to have for some reason.
What is weird though, because I don't know if you saw Greg Rosenthal from NFL Media had a tweet out on Sunday, which was I legit guffawed, like laughed out loud, whatever you want to say. He said, "I listen to a lot of team-specific podcasts, and none of you are happy." And it does feel like, because the product, I mean, there are a lot of teams struggling, right? There's no far and away head and shoulders above the rest, unless maybe you could say that about the Colts, right? The Colts are playing good ball week in and week out. No question about that. But the vast majority of NFL teams have issues. Like, look no further than last night and the first kind of half of that Buccaneers-Lions game, and tell me you're worried about facing either one of those teams.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Teams have issues. Teams have problems, including the Packers. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter what those issues and problems are right now as they continue to work on them, hopefully improve upon them, and then hit the ground running, so to speak, at the start of December into January. You want to be playing. That's when you want to be playing your best ball. But like right now in October, it doesn't matter what it looks like. I keep seeing people talk about the eye test. They don't look right. Like, they're not supposed to look right. Mm-hmm. All they're supposed to do is play ball, get W's, and get better week in and week out.
And the tough part about it is, Nags, and again, maybe this is just watching a lot of football and consuming as much of it as humanly possible. Right. But the things that you do really, really well right now, I got news for you. You probably won't do very, very well in November. Like, there's certain things that are going to be the staple of your identity in September that you're not running much of in November. Like, you have to evolve, and you will continue to go through the ebbs and flows of a season. That's just the human effect of the game and the people that are in the uniforms of it. But I did like that take from Rosenthal, and I think it is spot on. When you look around the landscape of the NFL, there's a lot of really average teams. There's a lot of good teams. There's really no truly great elite separation right now. And again, I think maybe that's unique. A lot of times there's an undefeated team at this point. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a team that rolls off and goes 10-1, like the Eagles a couple of years ago.
Right.
And then they ended up as the 5 seed and got run out of the
roasted in Tampa. Yeah.
So like I struggle to want to be the best team in October. Like, and when we had a text caller the other day, not this past week before, again, after the first win in a month, against the Cincinnati Bengals, who again, at the time, we didn't realize were good. Then they went and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, who we just saw.
And looked pretty good doing it.
I still don't know that they're that good, but they had a good game.
Yep.
And they got really, really good players. Yep. And each week you're going to face Pro Bowl to all pro caliber players. Budda Baker played phenomenally this week.
He's so good, man.
He's one of the best of secondary.
He almost turned Jordan Love's lights out on that one hit. Oh my God.
And he had a good game. Like there's levels to how much you can dominate the individual team. And I hear that word, and we had the one person say it. Nags, I watch Saturdays and I watch Sundays. Mm-hmm. There's no Saturday teams on Sundays. And what I mean by that is roll up and be a 25.5-point dog.
Yep.
There's no Purdue's on your schedule.
There ain't no homecoming game. There's no out of conference nonsense. It's all do or die.
Yeah.
Each and every week.
It's going to be big time games each and every week. And you're going to have the opportunity to get plastered either week. Not just beat. You can get beat up each and every week potentially.
Well, we talked about it earlier too, because that's the thing where you talk about trying to improve from week to week, and you are trying to hone what you do well, carry that forward, and then the problems, the issues, trying to iron that out, obviously. But that's why when you have a day like they had on third down, it really jumps off the screen, off the the grass, whatever you want to call it, because they had been so good on third down. And then to have such problems on third down, which of course leads to shortened drives, truncated scoring opportunities. That was such a frustrating kind of stretch there in the first half. But what you love coming out of that game and out of that second half is how they turned it around. Like, that is not inconsiderable. That is not dismissal. Like, that is a real testament to a team that found a way to figure it out in a tough environment on the road. Billy, they had to switch planes. They were very late getting in the night before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I kind of joke because I kept coming back to the Giannis thing. It's like, you have a car.
We're still getting filet mignon.
You're still going to a
it's gonna be
five-star
okay.
hotel. Still getting.
It'll be okay. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I did get it. You're out of your routine, whatever. That is something you do have to overcome a little bit. But way more important than that was they didn't play near their best ball in that first half. And they still found a way to turn it around and come out victorious in the second half. And there are huge moments like the fourth down stop on defense, the big 4th and 2 conversion. Those are the moments that you will draw upon as the season goes forward, knowing you can do it because you've done it already.
Yeah, and like there's each team has to learn that. Like, okay, sweet, we've seen it 2 years ago. They won a game like this. Fans remember that a whole lot more than players on the field do until you're in it with this group of guys and you've already proved it. Jason, the electrician on our Talking Text line, said it's like when you know your kid can get an A+ or get straight A's and they're bringing home C's. You're not devastated. You're just disappointed because you know they have the potential and it's just not showing itself.
That's the most dad text I've ever heard in my life. That's amazing.
Jason.
I mean, come on. You always pull that out on your kids, right? I do. I know that. I mean, I've got very older children now, and like, absolutely, when it is, time to have that talk and they've done something. I've only got one kid left in high school, and when she has a bad grade or whatever, it is always, that is the classic. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. My little guy just laughs at me with that one right now. Well, yeah.
I looked at him. I'm like, dude, you're not supposed to throw these out of the. He just looks at me like, yeah, Dad, guess what?
That's adorable.
Handful out of the table. Take that. What are you going to do now? I got to get better at that. Eric in the Prairie. It was a tongue-in-cheek headline, Billy. My goodness. It might have been on the should Matt LaFleur be fired. You can think it is, and it might be. However, I know. Yeah, there's a lot more people trying to say that. All right. I'm glad you thought the same thing.
Oh, come on. Like, why was that headline used? Interesting. I don't know. What could potentially be the reason? It's
because
hilarious.
People that are clicking aren't yelling it and screaming it and saying it to their couch cushions throughout the week.
Or tweeting it every 30 seconds during the game. That's the other thing, Billy. Can we stop? I mean, I know regular Cheesehead TV viewers and listeners are going to know exactly where I'm going with this.
Ooh.
But, man, can we stop making every play and every drive and every decision a referendum on everything and everybody?
Hardcore damnation.
There's this play or this call or this decision. Oh, he's the worst ever. Fire him.
Yeah.
Or there's this result that you think is bad and blah, blah, blah. Oh, fire him. You got to get rid of this guy. Like, just watch the game. Watch it play out. Watch the season play out, and then at the end of the year, talk about it. Like, I get it. You want to talk about who should be continuing and who should be gone and all this stuff. But name me a time, maybe once out of 150 times, where people have been fired in season in whatever capacity, head coach, coordinator, whatever, and things improve within the operation. It is just not a good way to operate. Bad teams do it. The Packers are not a bad team. They're not a bad franchise. They're not about to become one. But that's what you're begging for when you talk about people needing to be fired.
We need to hold people accountable. This is ridiculous.
Don't start with
we need to hold people accountable, Nags. If the same thing happens, that's what happens. You get fired. The other part of it is there's not alternatives. And I do think where you just mentioned the referendum on it is like, oh, Jordan Love airmailed the pass off to the left side. This guy's never going to win a Super Bowl.
Never going to win a Super Bowl. This is my point. This is exactly the point.
100%.
Yes.
They do the same thing. And again, they've done it with Jalen Hurts. He goes off and wins the thing.
Yep.
And then
now they're back to killing him.
They're going right back to it. Now he throws for 4 incompletions and 3 tugs against the Vikings. And it's like, yeah, but who wouldn't have had that day? Okay, maybe. I guess we can have more opportunity to run through it. But I also think it's just more fun to focus on the negative than look at some of the positive parts of it, right?
Of which there are many.
There's a lot more of them, no doubt about it.
It's tiring. And I guess maybe it's my own fault for my own chosen profession here. You know, Cheesehead TV, 24/7, 365, marinating in everything and all of it when it comes to the Packers. It's just, it's tough when that's all you hear is the negative stuff and all you see is the negative stuff. And it's like, I understand there's tons of great positive fans out there, of which you'll be talking to a bunch tonight on the Cheesehead TV Happy Hour. It's always a great collection of folks, although there are some Eeyores there too as well. But I just ask that people take a breath, watch the game, watch the season play out, and then have those discussions. Like the firing stuff, it's just, that blows my mind. That is exactly how the Jets would operate. If you want to emulate the Jets, go right ahead. But that is not how the Green Bay Packers are going to operate.
No, there's just not. It's not a way that you continually have a bunch of sustained success. And again, that sounds like a bad thing because people just equate it with the Brewers, and it hasn't won championships, but it continues to have you in the dance and with an opportunity. I also think the part of wanting to see more from the organization and more from the football team is because they know that there is a lot of talent on here. And I had another text from the NickLayLaw.com talking text line. Jeremy and Oshkosh said, do you agree with this post I saw on X? A coach's job is to develop players. Not saying Matthew Golden has to be a superstar in year 1, but through 6 games, Matt LaFleur hasn't schemed up a single red zone target for his first round wide receiver. Draw up a touchdown. Get your rookie's confidence going. That's literally your job. Now, I would, I don't know where this came from, who it was, or whatever.
I very much disagree with this premise. Sorry.
Yeah, Nags, I would disagree with the most part of, I think I've seen them try to draw up like 12 touchdowns for him. And it just hasn't worked, especially because we were in the stands or we were in the house in the Washington game where they desperately tried to throw the first 2 touchdowns of the game to him. And just literally missed twice.
MVP on the Cheesehead TV chat. Quote, draw up a touchdown. Why hasn't anyone thought of that before?
Run the touchdown play.
Can we run? Okay, call the touchdown play. Got it.
Touchdown play to Golden. Sweet. Let's go.
Look. Also, by the way, I also know for a fact that one of the attempted moments where they tried to manufacture a touchdown for Golden, he ran the wrong route. So, yes, you are developing players, but look at last night with Tampa Bay. Everyone going off about their rookie receiver getting these looks and whatever, which is great. He's talented, no doubt about it. Big conversation around him in a multi-score loss. Your job as a coach is to win football games. Yes, you will be developing guys along the way, no doubt about it. But, man, this ain't kindergarten. You ain't getting handing out ice cream cones. Oh, touchdown for you, little Billy. Like, no. You hand the ball to Josh Jacobs, you get in the end zone, you go back to the sideline. Like, no, absolutely not is the idea. We've got to make sure Matthew Golden gets a touchdown. No. This ain't Pop Warner.
The tough thing is you do that and you schedule those parts for the homecoming games that we referenced a little bit earlier in the segment, right?
Well,
those are the games where you can walk
touchdowns in the second half, then you draw up the play for Matthew Golden.
Then you draw up something for there.
Yes.
But again, Nags, like you mentioned it, there's definitely been at least on a number of different occasions and a couple very, very specifically that we can point to where it's been drawn up. He's the number 1 read. It's going to be a touchdown. And for some reason or another, sometimes by the fault of the rookie wide receiver, some on the other side, they get paid too, right? And they can sniff it out and they can stop it. But I do believe, and I think that I've actually been maybe more surprised than not that there have been a number of different times. It's pretty evident that he's the number one option, that he is the guy they're trying to get the football to. And teams are, I think, almost concerned enough about his speed right now, Nags, that he's one of their first options that they're trying to not necessarily take away, but they're guarding against the broken tackle in that dude going 4.29 to the crib.
And look, it's funny because it makes sense given how he's already produced in a number of really kind of clutch moments, right? I thought for sure the 4th and 2 yesterday or Sunday was going to him. I think I said as much on Watch Party because look, they have gone to him in really important, gotta have it moments. I mean, the biggest of which was 4th and 6 down in Dallas in overtime. They don't get that. Game's over. But I understand teams taking him seriously. No doubt about it. And you don't want to force it. Now, is it frustrating when you see him early in that game on Sunday, a couple receptions, and then he somewhat disappears seemingly for a couple quarters before, he's back in the mix? I get it. I understand that is frustrating. But it is not your job to force feed the kid. It is not your job to make sure he gets his. Your job as a coach is to win football games.
Yeah.
The Packers have done that a bunch of times.
No, and I think the other one is, Nags, like when and Drew Olson and I had a lot of fun doing this after or during the Washington game where, they got Christian Watson, a contract extension during the week, and a lot of talk about Matthew Golden and everything. You know what? That might be the time of, hey, what if we solo up Romeo Doubs over here under the sideline and let's give him a chance to eat real quick.
Yeah.
Slant route into the end zone, touchdown. That can happen. That's 4 years in.
Yeah.
That's some equity.
Yes.
We don't just hand those out the first year, guys. That's trust.
Seen them do it. Have done it together.
We got to get to that level before we're writing in. All right, game plan. Let's draw up that touchdown play really quick. I do want that though. I got to figure out where that design is because I'm gonna start running the absolute hell out of it.
I'm gonna get some Madden going after this, and I'm gonna run the touchdown play. I'm gonna draw up a touchdown play. That's what
touchdown play. I like it a lot more.
Can't wait. I hear the music. That means we gotta take a break. We'll talk more about the Steelers, the Packers, maybe a little bit of the Cardinals game still. On the flip side, for Billy, I'm Aaron. This is Carry the G Radio.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In June of 78, Darkness on the Edge of Town is released, Bruce Springsteen's follow-up to his breakthrough album, Born to Run. The album charts at number 5.
In the darkness on the edge of town. In the darkness on the edge of town.
Boston-based band The Cars released their debut album. It goes to number 18. It features the singles Just What I Needed and My Best Friend's Girl.
She's my best friend's girl. But you used to be mine.
In July of 78, the Rolling Stones released Some Girls in the U.S. The album and the single Miss You both hit number 1. In August of 78, Boston released their sophomore album, Don't Look Back. The album goes to number 1 in the U.S., selling 4 million copies in its first month.
Keep listening to iHeart Radio for more from 1978. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1969.
In May of 69, Neil Young releases his first album with Crazy Horse, Everyone Knows This Is Nowhere, featuring the songs Cinnamon Girl and Down by the River. The Who released the double concept album Tommy, which goes top 10 in the US and the UK.
Even on my favorite table, he can't beat my best. His disciples needed him, and he just does the rest. Stop crazy little fingers, never seen him fall. That kid from a blind kid sure plays a mean pinball.
David Bowie's single Space Oddity, released to coincide with the Apollo 11 moon landing, reaches number 5 in the UK. Also in July, Bob Dylan has a top 10 hit with Lay Lady Lay in his new, deeper-sounding vocal style, which he attributes to quitting smoking.
whatever colors you have in your mind, I show them to you, and you see them shine. Lay, lady, lay, lay across my big breast bed.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears have a number 2 hit with Spinning Wheel, popularizing the so-called brass rock movement that includes BST, Chicago, and Electric Flag.
Drop all your troubles by the riverside. Catch a painted pony on the spinning wheel ride.
Keep listening to iHeart Radio for more from 1969. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1968.
California's Creedence Clearwater Revival released their debut LP, which contains the number 11 single Susie Q. And in August, American band Tommy James and the Shondells have a number 1 hit in the UK with Moni Moni. It goes to number 8 in the US. And the Doors have their first number 1 album and their second and last number 1 single with Hello, I Love You.
When she moves, my brain screams out this song.
In November of 68, Van Morrison releases his second solo album, Astral Weeks, and Joe Cocker has a UK number 1 with his cover of the Beatles with a little help from my friends.
Don't you know I'm gonna make you with my friends? I promised myself I'd get back. Said I'm gonna try it with a
And in December, Motown holds the top spot with number 1 hits from Marvin Gaye, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, and the Supremes with Love Child. The Beatles released their first single on their own Apple label, Hey Jude, back with Revolution. The over 7-minute song went to number 1 in the US and the UK.
Keep listening to iHeart Radio for more from 1968. Coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Rick Springfield to get some insight on his latest release, Rocket Science.
It's a guitar-based record for sure, and I love big hooks, and it's not a country record, it's also a rock and roll record. But it does have some country elements.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from Rick Springfield and all your favorite artists.
We call it Wagertainment.
All right, place your bets, place your bets.
VSiN, every night at 6. Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest on Fox Sports 920.
I'm Jason Flom, founding board member of the Innocence Project, and my new podcast is Wrongful Conviction, available on iHeartRadio. On Wrongful Conviction, I interview a different exoneree every week and help them to tell their incredible stories of tragedy and triumph against impossible odds. You've got to hear it to believe it. Wrongful Conviction from iHeart Studios, available now on iHeartRadio.
Oh, yeah. Talk about coming in with a banger. Let's go, Billy. So,
not messing around now.
So, as we roll into the final half hour, soon to be, of Carry the G Radio this week, I want to give Quay Walker a shout out.
Ooh.
Because he played one hell of a game on Sunday. Look, again, as we talked about before with Brooks and Wooden, are there plays he'd like to have back? Are there plays where maybe he gets a little taken advantage of in the run game in particular? Yes, no question about it. But on balance, he had a hell of a game rushing the quarterback. His physicality, especially with these running backs trying to block him and failing miserably, that was fun. It was great to see him be able to kind of unleash that aggression. Obviously, like to keep the hands away from the quarterback's face a little bit there on that first one, but for the most part, man, that more of that, please. I'd love to see some of that on Sunday in Aaron Rodgers' face.
Yeah, and I think we've seen a lot more aggression from 7, maybe a little bit tempered aggression from 56. Yep. Maybe we'd like to see a little bit more of that, but I'm right there with you. And I'm excited also, Negs, that I'm finally able to say something that is one of my least favorite things I hear on Packers OT is the guy before me kind of stole my thunder. That was one of the texts that I was going to read here was from the 414 that said Quay Walker has been playing so well, or is it just me? It seems like people only point out the negative with him. He does a lot of times. And I also think, Nags, that specific position, a lot of times the negatives get pointed out because you're around the football all the time.
All the time.
You're supposed to be in on just about every single tackle. And then it's, well, this guy only makes tackles past the line of scrimmage. Well, that is kind of his job.
Also,
that is the job to do. But he has been playing with such a purpose.
Yes.
And the physicality, like you mentioned, that's so imperative for them to be able to feed off the emotion of that defense. They get hats to the ball, but somebody's got to lay a boom, and that's definitely been number 7 mostly.
And he is going to get those opportunities because of the way teams have to play the Packers. Like, they want to paper cut you to death. He is going to be around the football a whole bunch, right? Like, there are going to be moments where he does get juked by the running back, or maybe he does get carried for a yard or two in the run game after contact. I understand that's frustrating, but on balance, as a whole, his game was exemplary on Sunday. And you love to see how not just those kind of quote unquote regular plays where he's cleaning up whatever, but also Hafley utilizing him as a weapon. That's exciting to see. And that, again, you put it on tape, teams got to start to worry about it. And there's a lot to worry about watching that game if you're an opponent.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And I also just think that consistently his name has gotten brought up, as the texter said, a lot more in the negative, because people do just want, like, just like, again, AJ Hawk left some to be desired. However, a damn good football player.
Really good football player.
Really,
who always
really
showed up.
However, he wasn't Brian Urlacher, right? So, like,
Yep.
there's always going to be a possibility to grow there, and we want to be able to continue to look for that growth. I did like this one from Rancourt, and we're going to try to grow. My man said, will you two quit bitching about fans bitching? 2 wrongs don't make a right. Now, I do like that, but 3 wrongs do make a left. And at some point, if we can continue to turn this thing around where we make all of the negative feel like a positive, that's what I think we're saying. That absolutely, we hear it. We hear a lot of it, probably more than there should be. But the fact that there's this much griping with a 4-1-1 team means that there's a lot of room for improvement. And when you're already 4-1-1 and you still have that kind of room for improvement, we are going to be a potential wagon.
See, I like how you turn that around into a positive, because my first initial reaction is, so you're bitching about us bitching about fans bitching?
See, that's the 3 wrongs, and now we made a left, and now we're in the right territory.
It's like the inception of bitching. We're so levels deep here. Like, man, I'm sorry, that's my reality, and I'm the one with the microphone. Like, you're welcome to turn us off, but I'm sorry. I'm going to talk about what I see, what I hear, and what I experience when I follow the Green Bay Packers. And right now, there are so many miserable Packers fans for a team that is number 1 in the conference. It is driving me insane. There. Now I've said my piece.
That's going to be a perfect clip for Tyler. Yeah, that is a perfect
There's
clip.
no way Tyler's making it this far into the program. You know this.
Oh, that's true. An hour and 27 minutes
There's
in.
no
My man
chance.
is asleep at that
15
point. Yeah, no
minutes
doubt about it.
tops. If he finds something to clip, he will. But this deep, no way. No
might
chance.
be 7 or 8 minutes in now, because he went to the game this weekend, right? Still probably nursing a couple of day hangover. I saw my man cooking it up, just having himself a big old steak dinner. So
Yeah, he did. He did
knows
last
what's
night,
happening.
Right? That's the way to go. Meanwhile,
I
I
think that
had
should
like
be
a
one of-
turkey club sandwich last night for dinner. That was
Can never go wrong, though.
was
I
rolling.
would, especially if somebody makes the sandwich for you. The sandwiches are always better when somebody makes it
It's
for
true.
you.
They did. That's true. That is 100%
It
right.
is.
Well done.
I would say to back into our first hour conversation of the awkward lull in the conversation to LaFleur, I do want somebody to throw that question at him really quick. Like, how do you make your steak? Just start the day and see how he responds on a
if we ever
Friday
get
going
him,
in.
if we ever get him back on transplants, I will launch into that. I will be
Please.
perfect.
How you cooking the
I like
steak?
it.
Boss? Are we going flat iron? Are we going flat top? You going charcoal grill? You running the gas? You smoking it and then finishing it off with a cast iron skillet? What are we doing, Coach? How are we taking it? Medium rare? Or maybe he's a well done guy. He just soaks it with
See,
A1.
I'm
steak
scared.
sauce.
I'm
Could be.
scared to ask the question because that might be the answer, and then I can't respect him ever again. You know, it's like forget anything he's ever done on the football field as the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. If he's a well done steak guy, that's it. I have to part ways.
I don't think he
Then
can
I'll call
be
for his firing.
When that's what the podcast
That'll
caption
be
will
it.
be should he
That'll
be fired.
it.
But I will say, him drinking the wine with you guys before the
Wine
season,
drinker, yes.
there's no way a wine drinker like that's going medium well on the steak.
God,
well
I hope
done.
not. I just
don't think
can't.
so.
I can't fathom that. But I can fathom what I tell you. What I can fathom, the Green Bay Packers on offense starting to lean into. I know that we're so excited about the return of Christian Watson, right? We have a couple of people in the chat talking about how he should help open things up. Like Zane talking about how did you see how Rashee Rice coming back to the Chiefs really made them look good, etc. And you're not wrong, 100% correct. What I would like to see, though, is the Packers lean into more 13 personnel, more tight ends on the field. And then maybe like a single wide receiver in Christian Watson or Matthew Golden or whoever, like start to utilize more personnel groupings. Because, it felt like in that game on Sunday, we were talking about Golden disappearing, right? And it felt really disjointed at times on offense. And it feels like they're kind of searching for how to make this group of receivers work together. Maybe that changes with Watson. But it feels like they've got you again, Billy. You were there this summer. Luke Musgrave had a phenomenal training camp. And he has barely been utilized at all. And when he finally did get thrown to, Jordan Love sailed it, against the Bengals last week. So I just think if they could start maybe possibly, rolling in some other personnel groups, they might find a few more avenues to, not have so many kind of drives where they stub their toe, right? Because this is a team, and I heard Mina Kimes talk about this with Sam Monson last week. They were like, there's so many drives where they have the scoring drive that looks effortless. But in between that and the next scoring drive, there are always like 2 or 3 drives where it just looks completely disjointed, and they are out either 3 and out, or they get 1 first down and they're off the field. Just that kind of ability to elongate your drives and just throw the defense some curveballs. I think that could really potentially help LaFleur in the offense.
Yeah, they can throw one at you for a 9-play, 68-yard drive and run 5 minutes off the clock and be pretty workmanlike and score a touchdown. Yep. And then the next drive out, it's like 3 plays, 1 yard, 2 minutes.
Yep.
That was weird. And that's the complimentary style. And again, that's a drop in the bucket or like a dollar in the jar. People are going to start laughing and like, all right, we hear complimentary football way too much. But we always would joke about it as a score, stop, score. That was the tagline for it.
Yes.
Score, get a stop, get a score.
Again. Those now you're in control of the game. Now you're in control of the game. Those are the 3-piece
combo platters that you have to ultimately control games. Right now, they can throw an entree out in front of you.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, sweet. We finished that. Now what do we have? I'm still kind of hungry. I need a little bit more. Okay. Got to go back up to it. Got to restart the process. Then we get another drive in the middle of it. I think the greatest example of it is right after Havrasek hits the 61-yarder, the 1 play, 7 seconds, boom. You got a chance to double up coming out of the break. Immediately take control of the football game.
Tough to watch, man.
Damn, the Packers got the ball first.
Yes.
Like you walk in, if you went out to go get food at halftime,
you'd never know it.
You got back and Jacoby Brissett is starting on offense, and you're like, wait a second.
I thought the
Packers got the ball first.
Right. Yeah.
That's how quickly it changed. So like being able to capitalize on the momentum, that's the one part that you still also have to see. But that's how you blow double-digit leads. Yes. Right? They've had double-digit leads in 5 of their first 6 games now, but now they've found ways to. Now we got to figure out how we climb back into games, and that's doubling up, score, stop, score, reestablishing momentum in the game. And Larry McCarron called it out before the Cardinals got the score to tie it at 20, I believe. Right. He had said it. He's like, feels like we're starting to take over the game. Pardon me, to make it 20-13, right after the Packers tied it up at 13.
Got it.
In the drive, he's like, it feels like the Packers are starting to take control of this game. Then I think the Cardinals get a 3rd and 13. So it's like just that one moment to slam the door and put a nail into the coffin. You're right. That's the frustrating part of it.
It is, and it's not for a lack of talent and the way they've tried to kind of utilize things in various ways offensively, whether it is some of the run game stuff that has really been frustrating because of the inconsistency up front. Like the run blocking has just not been there on a consistent basis in any way, shape, or form. And what success they have had is mostly been due to the backs, right? It's been Josh Jacobs making stuff happen either at or even behind the line of scrimmage, or even Emmanuel Wilson has had to contribute in that regard. Like there just has not been a ton to work with as a running back in this offense. But what I would love is if they got back to some of that kind of outside zone stuff that we saw in 2023.
Sure.
Was so effective with Aaron Jones. And I understand it's a very different offense, different running back, etc. But man, they cooked with gas off of that action into play action, into boot action. And it feels like that's where Jordan really thrives. it feels like that really plays to his strengths. We just haven't seen a ton of it. I'm hoping we get some more of that as the year goes on. Again, the offensive line is a work in progress. They've had, 2 games in a row now, Billy, where they've actually had the majority of the same offensive linemen there out in the field for almost the entire game.
Yeah.
That should start to pay some dividends, right? Because they were so jumbled up throughout the first, 4 or 5 games to finally get a little bit of cohesion up front. I know not everyone's covering themselves in glory, but at least they're all playing together and hopefully improving and developing together as a unit. Because until they get, a little bit more consistent play up front in the run game, it is going to continue to be, very hit and miss on the ground.
I'll be honest, Nags, one of the biggest surprises of the game was that we had 6 individuals on the snap chart that played all 100% of the snaps.
Right.
And that you didn't see that you just locked it in, you kept it in. Jordan Morgan, play the whole game,
100%.
Feel how you can roll, and get yourself into a groove. I wonder if that's kind of the way that they're going to go moving forward. Because I thought, again, did he have 100% clean bill? Absolutely not. But I thought overall he played well. And when they stood up into the end zone, and when they're finding ways to finish drives, 77's been finishing his block into the end zone, which I love being able to see.
Yeah, of course. You're a lineman. You know this. You want to see the finish. You want to see the pancakes. You want to see taking of souls. I
also like that he's early into the celebration. Like
he's the one instigating it almost every time.
Yes. Again, because that was your boy. Like whenever there was a celebration to have, we were going to be there. Now that was the fastest you'd run, especially as a
celebration. Right.
To the celebration, fastest you run. Off the field, slowest you run, because maybe they'll get a shot of you on the camera when they're going right towards the goal line. Like, oh man, my man's still on the field.
Hey, there he is.
That's the one time that you get into the screen.
I know him. Yeah, you're otherwise, you're not talked about unless you're committing a penalty.
No, Jordan Morgan was in there celebrating. He's got the big chest up with Tucker Kraft instantly, and for him to play all 100% of the snaps, we haven't seen that quite often, if at all, really in his career yet.
Nope. And you love to see it. Like I said, a little bit of continuity, a little bit of hopefully cohesion up front. Loving to see that. And here's the other thing. Like we talked about the first segment, kind of top of the show, this is a team in Pittsburgh with the Steelers who obviously Tomlin, been there forever. This defense has been their mainstay, their calling card. This is a defense that can get got. This is a defense that the Packers should be able to work against, especially on the ground where the Packers have not been great. But there's an opportunity here. Not saying it's going to happen. Nothing's automatic. But this is a game where I suspect they probably lean into the running game a little bit, even more so than they have, because there should be opportunity and production waiting for them.
Yeah, and in a football town like Pittsburgh is, nothing going to be more demoralizing to the fans than watching their team get run on. Yes. I think that's also a part of it. We had this one from Tom in Kentucky. Nags, Billy, I'm upset. Why aren't the Packers the super mega number 1 overall seed? Matt LaFleur should be fired. However, I feel like our problem is more on defense than on offense. Just scheming up to the we're better than you plays, like a Walker blitz, Tucker Kraft 4th down conversion. We need more of that. I do like that. That's we're going to rub your nose in it. You know exactly what we're going to do, and you're just going to have to take it. We're getting there. We're getting there, but I do like that from Tom. The super mega number 1 seed.
Super mega number 1 seed. That is the goal, obviously, not to win the Super Bowl. Super mega number 1 seed.
They're raising a banner about it in Detroit. That's why they had those midnight black uniforms last night.
Unbelievable. I want to hate on the Lions because they're arrogant.
Come over to this side. It's fun.
Their fans are completely unhinged. They've found some recent success, and that's great. But man, I got to tell you, I love Dan Campbell. He's awesome. Dan Campbell. And
Brad Holmes is an electric factory.
Remember how the whole offseason, the only conversation around the Lions was the loss of the 2 coordinators and how are they going to respond and what was it going to look like. Look at that defense last night. They're down everybody, and I mean everybody in the secondary, and they're still playing sticky man coverage and hitting the hell out of people. That's a reflection of your head coach. I get the coordinator gets respect, no doubt about it. He's calling the plays. He's making it happen. But that's a reflection of the coach, and that reflects well on him that they are down 100 dudes and they're still playing lights out ball. That's impressive stuff.
And the way that he empowers Shepard as the DC, that's pretty important too. I saw him with Chris Long earlier this year, and again, it's fun. It's
one of the best things to consume as a football fan is the Chris Long podcast.
Yes, and he sat down with DC with Motor City Dan Campbell earlier this year during training camp and said it like Shepard looked at him and said, "I want to be a head coach. Think I got to cut my hair?" Dan's like, "Man, are you kidding me? Just to know that's, man, what you're about, and that's how much you're passionate to get here and be a part of this, man. Oh my God, I love that. Like that part of it to know, hey, you're you. We're gonna make sure that we get the best version out of you, and I don't change because I ain't changing. I just talked about biting people's kneecaps at the press conference. People laughed at me, wanted to laugh me out of the NFL, and look at me now.
And
so
look, they almost did when they were 1-6. I mean,
100%. He's unapologetically himself, and that's a great thing to have in the NFL. No doubt about it. Just wish it was for another team.
MPB nails it, though. Still going to smoke him like a turkey in a month.
Yeah, 100%. Right. And I definitely would still like him to go and take the Texas A&M job. I wanted him to take that Texas A&M job last year so badly. Yeah. We're finding a way to get O'Connell that Miami job. Just you wait.
Got to happen. Get him out of the division. Get him out of the division. We're going to get out of here for a break, but we'll be back on the flip side to wrap up Carry the G Radio. It's Aaron Nagler and Bill Schmid. Carry the G Radio.
When everything is wrong, we move along. Everything is wrong, we move along.
Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1976.
Bob Dylan releases his album Desire. It goes to #1 in the States, thanks mainly to significant radio airplay for the single Hurricane.
Couldn't help but make me feel ashamed to live in a land where justice is a game.
Scottish sensations the Bay City Rollers finally score a hit in the U.S. with the #1 single Saturday Night.
Saturday night.
In February, former Steve Miller Band member Boz Scaggs has a #2 U.S. album with Silk Degrees. Peter Frampton hits #1 with his double live album Frampton Comes Alive. It would become the best-selling album of 1976.
I want you, show me the way, every day. I want you, show me the way, night and day.
In March, Irish hard rockers Thin Lizzy's 6th album, Jailbreak, scores them a #12 hit single with The Boys Are Back in Town.
The boys are back in town again. Been hanging down at Dino's.
Keep listening to iHeart Radio for more from 1976 coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
The Rolling Stones are back on top with the #1 album in the U.S. and the U.K. and a #1 single, Angie.
Come on, baby.
Let's Get It On is a #1 single and a #2 album for Marvin Gaye. Also in August of 73, Stevie Wonder is back with the #4 album, Inner Visions. And Florida band Leonard Skinner released their debut album, had a top 20 hit with Freebird, and tour opening for The Who.
Won't you fly, Freebird, yeah.
Fast forward to October, where on their 8th album, the Steve Miller Band debut a smooth blues rock sound and score #1 hit with The Joker.
I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker. I sure don't want to hurt no one.
Keep listening to iHeart Radio for more from 1973 coming up.
iHeart Radio. Here are the top Prince songs you've thumbed up. #3, Little Red Corvette.
It was Saturday night, I guess that makes it alright. You say, baby, I ain't got enough gas. Oh yeah, little red Corvette. Maybe I might too fast. Yes, you are.
#2, 1999.
tonight I'm gonna party like it's 1999.
Number 1. When Doves Cry.
Baby, you're just like my mother. She's never satisfied. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
Hear more from Prince and similar artists now. Search for Prince on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
After a successful home opener in a 5-3 win over Texas, Milwaukee hits the road as they travel to San Jose for the first time since 2017. Into the slot, he'll find Thompson. Left circle, shoots, save made, rebound, score! Pre-game on Friday at 8:30, face-off at 9 on Fox Sports 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Jimmy, this answers your concerns?
I think a lot of good ground was covered.
Carry the G Radio wrapping things up after another phenomenal stretch with Bill Schmid. Aaron Negler here coming to you live from New York City. Bill, I got to tell you, this is a team that I cannot wait to see take the field Sunday night in those road whites. Nationally televised game against their old quarterback. You know, it's one of those moments you just live for as a football fan. Forget about being a Packers fan, which obviously we are, but man, just a football fandom. Sunday night is what it's all about. It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait.
Yeah, the Packers got to be NBC's absolute favorite team because a month ago they get the trip down to Dallas for the spectacle that was and a phenomenal football game. This one is going to be right there with it. Although I don't know if it's getting as much attention as I kind of anticipated it would. Now, again, it's Tuesday.
It's early.
It's early. It's
we get
Tuesday.
that first injury report on Wednesday. It's going to be cooking. Don't you?
And then Thursday, reportedly, Aaron is going to meet with the Green Bay media on a Zoom call. So there'll be some conversation there and a lot of great laughs and a good, I imagine, 20 minutes and hopefully a good out of left field question by Steph Sutton that Aaron can be happy about and enjoy and shout
out Steph Sutton. Yeah.
Shout out Steph Sutton. That was one of my favorite moments of all time when he threw that in there. The great question. It's just like being able to throw that one in there is awesome. And also I just, there's a lot to reunions. And I know this isn't a reunion. He's going to be on the other side. He's going to for the rest of the season. But Aaron is going to, it's going to be easier for Aaron to come back to Green Bay. I don't believe there's as much, if any, real bad blood and cantankerous nature. There's a couple of individuals that probably don't love each other and vice versa. But the respect is and admiration is still through the roof. Absolutely. And I just wish the game was at Lambeau.
That's it. That's the only kind of drawback here, right? And look, could have had that if Minnesota just got out of their own way.
Yeah, figure it out, guys.
Aaron Rodgers wanted to be a Viking, and the Vikings were like, "Nah, we're good."
You think they're kicking themselves at all?
Maybe just a little bit, possibly. But
Aaron,
they're going to develop this young JJ McCarthy. Don't you worry.
Totally. Yeah, totally. I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. Not only Aaron, but Sam Darnold. Anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Looked pretty good last night.
Anyone? I mean, goodness gracious. Ooh, Andrew Ludwig threw a good tidbit at us. Favre with the Vikings also wore throwbacks in 2009 when they first played against the Green Bay Packers. That's an interesting one. I like that. Now, I do appreciate the Viking throwbacks from that time a lot more than the Steelers one. The Steelers kit is
what are we doing? You had the perfect opportunity for just a classic Steelers Packers uniform matchup, and they go and screw it all up. Like, what are we doing?
Wear these when you play Carolina. You know, right? I mean, that's what the respectable organization like the Packers does. Wait for the throwback homecoming day when Carolina comes to town.
Although we did wear the throwbacks last year when Detroit came. Division.
Well, and we
promptly lost the game.
The problem was we thought we were going to put a homecoming whooping on them. Instead, it was the other way around. Now we also, that was just always a part of the deal.
Right.
Detroit forgot to wear theirs. Right on Thanksgiving,
Clearly,
we would always wear the old school jerseys, and that was the problem. They
You remember that classic shot of Brett Favre and I'm on green chowing down on some turkey in the throwbacks? Oh,
the best.
God, it's so good. I don't want to get ahead.
Absolutely
Don't want to get
love
ahead.
those. No, we got a lot of time before that one
Got
comes.
a lot of ball
time.
game before we get to Thanksgiving. Although I am looking forward to it.
I am excited also, not only to obviously watch the quarterback and everything that goes on there, but you mentioned the defense and the gettable nature of this Steelers defense hasn't been like that for a while.
Sure.
How the Packers are able to frustrate not only TJ Watt, but Nick Herbig had himself a big day a couple of weeks ago as well. There's a lot of Wisconsin Badger flavor to that Pittsburgh Steeler defense, and like good versions of Wisconsin Badger defense to be able to watch. So it's fun to not only see the man that's going to be the trigger guy on the other side, but a lot of former Badgers onto that Steelers team. So this is a good matchup. The one that I wish that we saw a little bit more of.
Going to be interesting to see the Zach Tom, TJ Watt matchup
Great battle.
in this game. I mean, Zach, I think, has played good football, hasn't played great football, and he certainly had a few gulp type moments down in Arizona. I would say there were two plays in particular where he gave up that edge pretty quickly. And certainly on Sunday night, can't be having it. Cannot be having it. And maybe they pay extra attention to TJ. I suspect they will. But yeah, you talk about a matchup to watch. That is going to be a lot of fun.
And I think some of what Tom is doing is trying to work through the injury and figure out how to play with and reestablish his leverage without it. But to your point, Nags, TJ Watt's going to take no prisoners. Yeah. And he has been a little bit again, he still has the massive splash play. The pick against their Minnesota is phenomenal that he has. But like great pass rushers do, at certain times they can be neutralized to the point where you're like, oh, wait, there he is. There are still maybe more times that happens recently with Watt. Although his high-end stuff is still right there. I'm taking none away from that. His still splash plays are right there. But it feels like there are more times during the game where he kind of blends in than just stands out throughout.
I agree. I think some of that is people's approach too, though. You know, it's like got to
pick your spots too.
Got the obvious like slide protection. You got a chip from the tight end. You got a running back coming up on you, and like that, he's going to get that attention, right? That is just his lot in life. But you've also got play design that is like legit designed to get away from him as fast as possible. Whether it's getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands, whether it's a pitch play away from him, like teams are legitimately trying to stay away from him as much as possible. I don't know if we continue that trend on Sunday, but I do think he's obviously going to get attention. It's going to be fascinating to watch because I think week 1, Packers did a phenomenal job of neutralizing Hutchinson. Week 3 felt like they went a little overboard with Myles Garrett to their detriment. So I'm very, very curious to see what kind of approach they take with TJ Watt.
Yeah, because there's other guys on that line that can beat you.
That can hurt you.
And they will bring heat. They will bring different looks at you. And in a spot where generally crowd noise isn't an issue in the NFL, necessarily speaking.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh it is. Like
the
home field advantage is different there.
Very real.
In Pittsburgh. It is a real deal, and it's going to be a tough environment.
Real deals. That's all we handle here at Carry the G Radio. It's what we're up against. It's what we do. Billy, it's always great. 2 hours has flown by. Can't wait to talk to you next Tuesday after a big Packers victory in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, this is fun talking about the team that is leading the NFC, so let's do it again next week.
We got to get that super duper number 1 mega seed.
Super duper number 1 mega seed.
That's Billy. I'm Aaron. Thank you so much for listening to Carry the G Radio.